I see we are live. I see we're live. I'm going to give it just a few seconds here, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. It's going to be a, how can I put this? It's going to be a dive into my, one of my newest theories on the whole Mandela Effect, why it's happening, what it might mean, why certain people are affected more than others, things of this nature, and also we're going to dive into some other stuff as well. So, just sit tight for a moment because I'm waiting for a few people to join the live stream. It does look like it's live, so this should be good. It should be archived fairly well. Please leave a thumbs up on this. Leave a comment of your theories on things like this. I'd love to know. I'd love to kind of dive into what other people have experienced, what other people think about this subject and these subjects. This is the reason that I put the chat on the screen, the reason that I do this show live, the reason I continuously do these things live is so that as many people as possible can be part of it, and it's not just like a closed-minded thing. I think it's important that we put our heads together. So I'm going to give it a few moments. So if you are watching this after the fact, you probably want to skip forward to, I'd say, like the 3 or 4 minute mark. That way I can give it enough time for people to get in here. What is up? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you. Should see people's names and comments be popping up over here. I know I'm covering it up a little bit, but as it scrolls, you'll be able to see who said it and things of that nature. I don't anticipate this being like a stream that's gonna fly, like the comments are gonna be flying like crazy, but it's possible. It's possible. If that starts happening, I might have to reposition this a little bit, but for now, I think it should be good. What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining. As I was saying before, I'm gonna wait probably about another minute to 2 minutes to let people get in here so they don't miss the first part of this, because the first part of this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a little, just a brief little, I wouldn't call it a documentary because it's not like it's not like there's proof that's so concrete that you could be like, this is a documentary, but it's something that is at the cornerstone of one of my newest theories. This is not my only theory on the subject. This is just something that I thought would be good to sit down with you guys and have a conversation and make a video on, that we can get a little bit of understanding on why I think these things, and maybe it'll give roots to other people's theories and they can grow their own thing. I know my sleeves are unbuttoned, but that's because I like to roll up my sleeves, get into these things. I'm just kidding. It's just because I'm kind of lazy. Kind of lazy when it comes to that. Plus, I'm sitting in my own room. Okay? I'm as dressed up as I should be sitting in my own room. What is up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Cameron. I see Mr. Dennis. I see Pinhead. I see Mr. Lorenzo. I see HazelEyes. I see Exoblur. I see TheSerpentDen. Thank you guys very much for joining this. We're going to get started in just a moment here. About 30 more seconds. I'm going to give people to get in here before we start this up, because if you miss this first part, I'd rather not continuously explain it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit the same notes over and over again, so I should probably just, yeah, about 30 more seconds, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. Let me know if there's anything wrong. Oh, this is another reason why I need about 30 more seconds. Let me know if there's anything wrong with the broadcast. Do you guys see any problems? Can you hear me just fine? Am I too loud? Am I not loud enough? Is it coming through? Are you guys having any buffering issues? On YouTube, I haven't really experienced people having too many issues like that. Twitch is different, because Twitch does a lot their bandwidth differently. YouTube seems to just have those servers, and they're just like, hey, whatever, do what you want, guys. Do what you want. It's your world. Crazy Williams. I wonder who that could be. Jayan, what is up? Welcome, everybody. All right. So, once again, is it live? Is it good? Hang on a second. Let me ask a question in this chat. It's all clear? All clear for everyone? All clear for everyone? Cool. Very nice, very nice. Let's call on my tablet. Good. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that people are watching it on different devices and stuff and it's still working well. Yeah, I don't really have that much issue with YouTube. YouTube normally is just like, boom. Oh, some of this is going to be cut off. I need to move this over a little bit. I can see that already. Window capture. Move this over. Can I move it over? Window capture? Whoa. There we go. Alright. That should be better. That should work pretty well. Alright. So, it's me, Jay Cool. Oh, okay. I was like, I'm just going to call you Mr. Dennis for now. I don't like putting people's full names out there. By the way, if you guys don't want your full name on this broadcast or your YouTube name or your Gmail name, there is a way to change that. You might want to ask somebody like Jan or somebody that you see has their actual Twitch name as their name in the chat. That way you can get that taken care of. So maybe do that if you don't want your name on there. But nevertheless, thank you guys so much for being here. So we're going to get this started. All right. So I guess I should start with, I shouldn't even start with that. Let's start with, let's take that out. Let's take this out. Let's go to, let's go here. Nah, let's not start there. Let's start here. Okay. Doing well. All right. So these are ancient Sumerian tablets. Don't worry, we're not going to get too Indiana Jones on this, but it does pretty much start here what I want to talk about. These tablets have some of the oldest scrawlings known to man. These tablets go back thousands and thousands and thousands of years before the Bible, before all the rest of that, before all the rest of the stuff that people are currently living by. These were the tablets. This was the language. The ancient Sumerians, they basically spoke of and had a legend or a history. You could even call it a history based on what they say. It's kind of like the same form of history as you would find in something like the Bible or these ancient texts. You know, something that is reported to have happened and that people believe in, but it's so distant that all they're doing is retelling the story. So these writings are not as old as the stories that they tell in most cases, from what I'm hearing. Of course, I can't. One of the main things I want to say here is that I can't translate these. So what I'm hearing and what I'm telling you, it all has come through a separate entity. It's not me. I don't know how to read this. So if I'm wrong, if you know how to read these things and I'm saying something wrong, I would love to know it. So please let me know. But I'm telling you what has been translated for me, what has been translated to me and to other people, and that information that I was able to pick from there. So these tablets, hopefully you guys will follow this, because this is a very important part of this. These tablets speak of the creation of mankind. Just the basic story that you hear all the time, that God created us in his image, and this is not going to be a religious broadcast, so please don't bring religion into this, because that's where we just get sidetracked. So this is not about religion. This is the only way that it's about religion is because this was what these people believed in. But I don't want to go into like today's minefield of weirdness that people get into when you start talking about religion. All right, so this is not a religious discussion. It's only religious when I like barely touch on it here and there, just to draw conclusions and draw similarities, so that everybody can be like, oh, okay, yeah, that does kind of make sense. So the reason that I'm bringing up the Bible a few times here is because I need for people to understand that that the Bible is I mean, people live by it. I understand it's a great piece of work, and it helps people out, and who knows how much of that is true. That's where faith comes in. But what I want for people to understand is that these tablets came out many thousands of years before the Bible was put together, and they speak of the creation of mankind. You could translate that stuff? Thank you. Robalians. The Robalians did it. Yes. We're going to get to the Robalians as well. No, we're not. These tablets speak of the creation of humankind. So, basically, God creates man in his image to do good work, and, that's basically it. And then as time goes on, different beings come from heaven, and they're like angels. They're big, they have wings, and they have children with man, and then they create giants and things. The same story you hear in the Bible. The difference here is that in these writings, they don't speak of one God. They speak of race of beings that created human beings. So that this is I was just trying to put it into like terms where you can see, yeah, it's pretty much the same story. So I can see how that could be true, but it can be put in different words for different religions. Different religions can put it in different words to put forward what their message is, what they think is most important. Because most religions, they don't touch on every subject. They choose what is important and what's not, and what you should stay away from, what's a sin, what's not, all that stuff, what not to eat. They touch on different things. But this was before the Bible, and it tells basically the same story, but it tells of a race of beings who created the human race. And they are called the Anunnaki. Now, you might have seen the title of this video and been like, what the heck are the Anunnaki? And if you already know, great. If you do not know, I'm about to explain it to you, or this video is actually going to explain it to you, because I found a really cool and short video that tells everything that I pretty much wanted to tell you guys about the beginning of this. So let me get the tablets off the screen. Let me boot this up, and just let me know if you guys can hear this well, because I'm going to start up this video now.
Anu, the god of gods, believed that they, the Anunnaki, needed more men to gather resources on Earth. Anu requested that Enki and Ninki create humans under Enlil's supervision. Sections of the god's DNA were rendered inactive and locked before they were inserted into the genetic base material to keep humans productive, obedient, controllable, and God-fearing. Both reproduction and lifespan were kept in check to keep the human slaves at manageable numbers, using a system of replacing new for old when the humans became too old and sick to be productive. The humans were content and ignorant slaves. But Enki and Ninki grew fond of their creations and were disgusted at how their creations, their children, were being treated. So they devised a plan to create a new worker model in secret. They would not make this model strong and robust, but smarter, so that it hated being told what to do. It asked lots of questions about everything, including questions about the conditions and origins. This infuriated Anu and Enlil. Eventually, Enki's faction, the Brotherhood of the Snake, was defeated by alien factions who wanted to keep humans as slaves. Enki and Ninki were banished to Earth. Enki's title was changed from Prince of Earth to Prince of Darkness, and Ninki was referred to as the Snake. Enlil declared all humans his enemies, and they were punished with extreme hardships and increased work shifts. They were eventually abandoned by the gods. According to the Sumerian accounts, the being referred to as God in the Bible is really the gods Anu and Enlil that enslaved mankind in ignorance. Enki and Ninki were the creators of our species and the greatest contributors to mankind's development. They stood up against their own race at the cost of losing their family, never being able to return to their own people or their real home because they cared for us like real parents. They tried to free us from slavery and oppression from the slave owners pretending to be gods over all.
Okay, so to paraphrase, let me get to a scene that looks cool. Yeah, let's leave it right there. Okay. So, to paraphrase, basically it's saying that there was a. Let me start over here. Actually, I'll just try to. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm just gonna show you. Okay, so to paraphrase, this giant dude is supposed to be like their overlord, like the guy who tells them we need to do this. Had an idea that they needed a race of workers who could just gather things, mine for them, build things for them. Not a race, not their race. They wanted to create a race of beings that would basically just do the work for them while they're out and about doing whatever else they needed to do. So he enlists these dudes, this dude and this lady. I don't know if they're actually dude and lady, but this is based on the Sumerian tablets I'm telling you about that they found, and I'll show you another tablet that actually shows these beings. So they were enlisted to create a race of being that would basically just be subservient, would not really think much, would just do things for them. Would be fairly strong, but easily controllable. So right here it shows that they used some of their DNA and they mixed it with a different animal or different something to create a being that would live on this planet and do work for them. Would gather, gold. A lot of theories say that they put us here to gather gold or whatever, but that we were created to do work for them. But these two that actually rose up, they kind of behind this guy's back created another version, because the version that they originally created, they gave it a certain lifespan that it would live, and they gave it, it can get sick, it can die, because they wanted to keep it, keep the dupe on them, keep the wool pulled over their eyes, and the best way to do that is just make sure that they die. Make sure they get sick, and after they've come to that level of usefulness, and that they can just move on and make another one that's not going to ask questions and stuff like that. So, so they created a race of human being, put them here on this planet to mine and do the work for us and build these structures and things. But these two decided that they liked their creation so much, and they didn't like how it was being treated. They didn't like how it was being treated, because they put time and energy and love into making it, but it was just basically just getting expended at all times. And they were like, there's much more to life than that. So behind the main creator's back, they gave it more of a thinking power. Gave it more of a thinking power. They gave this new model, like Human 2.0, but this is like thousands and thousands of years ago. Gave it a different a way of thinking, to where it would always question things and want to know more and seek knowledge, and that's pretty much where I want to stop that explanation now. You ate it though? Oh no. All right. So the thing that got me thinking, because I stumbled across this legend a long time ago, but I didn't pay much mind to it until things started to get strange with the Mandela Effect, and people were like, yo, where's the Mandela Effect gonna have anything to do with this? Just trust me, I'm getting there. But it does require some build, because if I just like told you what I think, you'd be like, well, huh, what? And then I'd just end up all the way back here and doing it over again. So to have a race of beings, like human beings, that they put on this planet to do a certain work for them, they had to have like the ability to tell them what to do, to be able to use a mind that was just basically almost like a blank slate. Just tell them what to do, tell them what to build or how to build it, be able to teach them things. And so what I think they had is some sort of signal or a way to communicate with the regular humans that they put here, the first model that they put here. So I think that they had some sort of way to talk to them, some sort of way to get them to do it and not question it. And so what I think they had was some sort of like way to tap into our minds and make us do things. I don't know if it was just a signal or a certain wave that affects the mind a certain way, or just you can actually just download instructions into the mind like a computer program or something. So that's part of my theory right there, is that I think that they implanted something in the human DNA to make us able to be controlled at a certain level, but that what these two who rebelled did is they removed some of that ability by giving us our own free will, or the ability to think things through and to question things. So that's where I need to show you this next thing. Somebody already kind of touched on this in the chat, which is really cool because it's the same thing I came to. So let me take this off of here. Let me put this up and let me take my monitor off. Okay, so this is actually one of the tablets. This is the most famous one that they found. This is the most famous one that they found. If you do any research on this after the fact, you're going to find this tablet more prominently than probably anything else on the subject, or any other like physical thing. You might find some pictures that like people made or whatever, but this is an actual tablet. This shows human beings on this side, and it also shows on this side over here a winged being in communion with mankind. And then there's the tree of life in the middle, and there's like the it's a circle with wings on it, which is classically portrayed as a planet called Nibiru. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second as well. But the main thing that this tablet is showing is that there was a certain being that used to have wings that was over here, and there were the humans, and they were talking, but they looked very similar. They look very much alike. So this tablet right here is one of the things that actually points people to believe that there's another race that looked a lot like us, but was not us. And gosh, this is gonna take a while to explain, but everyone knows the classic version of an alien, the version that everyone says they see when they get abducted or taken up into one of the spaceships, or that they see one of them touch down and little things pop out. Now this is where I want everybody in here to tell me, what do you normally see? What do you normally see? What do you normally hear when somebody says they get abducted? What is the race of being? What does it look like? What are its features like? What's its hairstyle? Like, what is the main thing that you see out there every single time? Not every time, because Hollywood has done things where it has like a crazy thing that comes out of its mouth and busts people's heads open. But what would you guys say? And this is part of the reason that this chat is on the screen, is because I want it to be organic, and for people to understand that this is not just like me saying one thing and then me saying another thing. Like, there are going to be opportunities for all of us to put in our opinion and what we've heard through the years. So through the years, what would you guys say is the average alien that gets seen or gets put on TV, or the abduction stories? What do they look like? We're in history class. Gritty's the teacher. Like I said, not the xenomorph. The xenomorph is a crazy design by H.R. Geiger, by a dude. If you looked at his drawings, you'd see where that came from. I'm talking about like when people tell you, when you hear the stories where people are like, I got abducted by real aliens and I saw them and they look like this. What do they look like? There you go. Second City Saint. Second City Saint put it in. You're going to see it coming up the screen pretty quick here. They're bald with big black eyes and no nose. Okay, good. Good. Long gray arms, bald head, big round eyes. See what I'm talking about? The alien autopsy. Exactly. You're going to see it scrolling up the screen. See, there's the top of the alien head already. And you're going to see what everybody said. I'm not coaxing anybody. I'm not typing anything in here. The only thing that I discounted was the xenomorph because, like I said, that was a design by H.R. Geiger. I'm talking about when people tell you they got abducted by like real life aliens who came to this planet. Exactly. They have gray skin. They have heads that are bigger than the rest of their bodies. They have giant eyes. They have no nose. They have they're hairless. They don't have a hairstyle or anything. They're just skinny and hairless and just basically look kind of like us, but there's something off. Something that doesn't look quite right. There's a lot of things that don't look quite right. Now, when I think of the classic alien that comes to Earth and people, all this goes with that you got to believe that there are aliens. I mean, if you don't believe there's aliens, then this video is going to mean nothing to you. But all this is going to tap into the Mandela Effect. Just trust me on that. So, when I start thinking about the classic story, the classic story the Sumerians put on these tablets, and about how they came down, the Anunnaki, the race that supposedly created us to begin with. They came down. They mixed parts of their DNA with parts of another thing's DNA to create something that would do work for them. And what I keep thinking is, what's the difference between us and the classic aliens that abduct people? What's the difference? We have more muscle mass. We have our heads are a little smaller, smaller than theirs, or more proportionate to our bodies. Our eyes are not huge. We grow hair. We grow hair everywhere. I've seen people who have hair like everywhere. Hair on our heads, hair on our eyes. We have a nose. We have these features. And so, if you look through the animals that exist on this planet currently, or have existed in the past, hundreds of thousands of years, you can find something on this planet that if you mixed it with the classic alien, you would get human beings. And that's a monkey, it's an ape, it's an orangutan, it's these primates. And I even think that word primate is something that we came up with, because prime means just like one, the main one, and then mate, like we get together, like you're my mate, So even that word is, but I'm not going to get too far into like the words and stuff like that, but it seems to me that if they did come here and create us, and this is why they're always looking for that missing link, and they can't find it, they're like, oh, we think we found it. It's like, no, you didn't find it yet, because the missing link is the fact that we never were apes. We never were apes. It's just they mixed the Anunnaki DNA with the primate DNA, not apes, whatever, whatever you want to call them, mixed the DNA together to create humans, so there wouldn't be a missing link. The missing link is the Anunnaki. There wouldn't be anything else. Some people would say that it's, that they refer to it as God. In this particular theory, I'm referring to the people, the thing that created us, as the race of Anunnaki, okay? So, think about it. If you mix together a bald, skinny, hairless, big-eyed thing with a monkey, what would be the middle ground? What would come out? It would be us. It would be us. We can grow hair. We don't have hair everywhere. We can get muscle. We can actually do work. But we don't have the hugest cranial cavity and things like that. I mean, we have a pretty prominent brain as well. And I think that's what comes along with the Model 2. I think the Model 1 was even more primate-like. Wait, what about the dinosaurs? I'll get to that. I will get to that. And that's also I might do that in a different video, but let me just touch on that real quick. I'll touch on the reptiles, okay? What I think happened is that when they first showed up here, because I think that they've been working on this project for not just thousands of years. I think when they first showed up, the dinosaurs were here. I think the Anunnaki have been around for centuries and eons and millions of years as a society, and there's something that they need, and they've been traveling like a nomadic type species who gathers what they need, and they're part of like an alliance in the galaxy and stuff like that. But I think when they first came here, dinosaurs were still walking around, and so they were like, wow, you know, these creatures are really dominant, and they've been dominant for lots and lots and lots of years, way longer than the human beings have been on this planet. Dinosaurs were ruling stuff. I mean, completely ruling stuff. So I think that they came here, they saw the dinosaurs and like, wow, look at that. That's evolution at its finest, because they're coexisting with their environment. They're not too smart to where they'll destroy themselves with nuclear war and all this crazy crap. So, man, if we need workers, we should start here. Start here, man, because why not? They've already survived for millions of years without us. So there's not much for us to do. So they scoop up some of the reptilian dino DNA, and they step back a second and are like, man, we can't just leave these giant monsters on this planet, because you know they're gonna eat us, they're gonna eat each other, they're gonna eat our creations, they're never gonna get any work done, because they're always gonna be, you know, be like Jurassic Park every single day of no matter where you're at. It's just Jurassic Park, just with no fences and no jeeps, so you're dead. So they decided, gotta take these things out, man. Gotta take these things out. Exactly. Jurassic Park showed us exactly what will happen if we mess with dino DNA. But it would be Jurassic Park every day for the Anunnaki. So they were like, yo, all right, what we're going to do, we're going to scoop some of this prime dino DNA. So they took some, you know, Tyrannosaurus DNA. They took all the iguanodon, whatever dinosaurs you want to think of. Your favorite dinosaur, good. They took some DNA from it and they backed out. They backed out far from Earth, and they hit it with the death beam. They hit it with the death beam because they had to nuke the dinosaurs. They had to, because every day would be Jurassic Park, but there would be no weapons, there would be no nothing that could really help them. You'd always be looking over your back for where a T-Rex is at and all that stuff. They'd spend all their time just trying to make the whole world Jurassic Park, and it just wouldn't work out. So they back up and they nuke the dinosaurs, all right? Not even nuke. I don't even want to say nuke. It's bigger than a nuke. It's something that hit, and we believe it was an asteroid that took them out. But to me, in this theory, the Anunnaki took them out on purpose. Just straight up, boom, get out of here. We can't have that. We need to get these resources. We need to put something on this earth that can actually do work and not be scared for its life at all times. So they nuked the dinosaurs. I'm just using nuke as like a term because it was bigger than a nuke. It took out an entire planet filled with life. It took out an entire planet filled with dinosaurs and made it inhospitable for them. So dinosaurs are dead. They come back years later. They wait for all the dust to clear. They're good now. So they got this prime dino DNA. They worked in their lab, and they've created a race of workers that have dinosaur DNA and Anunnaki DNA. They create this thing. It doesn't look like human beings. It looks humanoid, but it looks like that thing kind of from like, you ever played Elder Scrolls? There's like that race, I think they're called Argonians. It looks kind of like that, but not as crazy, because they have like gills and all this kind of crazy stuff, and I think they'd want more of their DNA involved. So they created the perfect being. They were like, yo, not the perfect being, but the perfect worker. They're like, man, this thing is adaptable. This thing is incredibly strong. They're smart. But what I think that they didn't account for, and this is another crazy thing, but it's not too crazy because people buy video games based on this all the time, and people do kind of believe in this. I believe that DNA has a memory. I believe that our DNA can pass things down through our lineage that stick with you, and that's what the Assassin's Creed games are based on. Is that within your DNA is stored some of the knowledge, some of the abilities that your ancestors had. And I think that and I know it sounds crazy, guys. Like I said, this whole video is going to make me seem like a person with a tinfoil hat. But the thing is, I can go beyond that. I can go beyond that, and I can break it down to a realistic level, and I'm not sitting here like looking at iguanas all day like, I saw him, he was looking at me, he knows something. I'm not that dude, all right? But I do think that they created a reptilian version as their like 1.0 model of their worker. These reptilians, like I said, would have been very fast, would have been very strong, would have been what they deemed as the perfect worker, because they already had kind of tiny brains and things like that. So perfect. They mixed their DNA with it, but I think that DNA has a memory. I think there are reasons that I know things and I can't explain why I know them. That people have deja vu. That people can just be naturally talented at learning other languages, or learning karate, or how to drive, or things like this. I think the reason for it is because your DNA can pass on certain things that we can't fathom yet as human beings. We don't even know what's at the bottom of our oceans yet. So it's crazy and asinine to think that we will know. Just because we can put an A, T, C, G to our DNA, we know our genetic code now. Yay, we know everything about DNA. No, we don't. We're not even close. So I think that DNA has a memory, and I think that event, when the Anunnaki destroyed the entire planet full of dinosaurs, when they destroyed not just one species, but an entire planet full of beings, I think that memory stuck with that DNA. I think it stuck with that dinosaur DNA, and they found the reptilian race of their creation to be very uncontrollable, and also very spiteful and hateful towards the Anunnaki, because there was just something within each one of them that wanted to rebel, because they could still feel that event of every one of them, every one of their family, every one of their future, past, everything just getting destroyed all at once by one particular race. And it was something that's within them. They're part of it now. So like I said, I know it sounds crazy, but I think that they did create a race of reptilians that were supposed to work here, but they became so uncontrollable because within them they still had that memory. They still had that just want to destroy every single member of the Anunnaki race. So what I think they did is they retreated into the earth, because there's a hole at the top of the earth and a hole at the bottom of the earth, and a lot of people believe that there's an inner system inside the world where there's a whole other society. And I think that's where the reptilians went to, because they couldn't leave the planet or anything. But so I think they just chose to retreat. So I think that's why there's still reports of that. You see reptilians, you see some people who look really strange, who don't look the same as the rest of society and stuff. And I think that's because the dinosaur DNA over millions of years has kind of mutated, and some of them can become chameleon-like. They can change the color of their skin, maybe even change how they look and try to blend into society and stuff. So maybe some of them are walking around. I don't know. But I know that in this theory, there has to be the race that is us. Okay, so that's the only thing I wanted to say about the reptilians for now. Okay, because I do believe they exist, and I do believe they're out there or in there. I think they're most likely in there. So there you go. All right, there's that. Let's see. If I see an alien, I'm gonna know. I'm home. Oh boy. Uncle Bob sees an alien. He told me to make. What? What? If I see an alien and ask me to take them to my leader, I'll boldly look at them, do the Captain Morgan pose, and say, "You're looking at him." I know a lot of people would be like, "Yo, Donald Trump! Yo, there he is right there. I'll take you to my leader." Never before have so many people been like, "Yo, I'll take you to my leader. You want to meet my leader? Yo, you got to meet this dude. Please, please meet my leader." People are going to lead him straight to Trump. Okay. So there's people living in the Earth. It's a possibility. There are satellite photos that show that there is a hole in the top of the Earth and a hole in the bottom of the Earth, and also it is a no-fly zone, so you cannot fly over it. There is also a zone where you cannot visit Like, literally, the government will not let you go there. So good luck trying. I'm telling you right now, guys. There are things about this world that go unnoticed because they don't want you to think about it, but they're really there. Look it up. Look it up. Don't even believe me. Just look it up. All right? Try it. Don't even do that. If you're independently wealthy, go try to visit that hole. Please live stream it while you do it so I can see you get arrested because you're not making it. They won't let you go there. The government will literally not let you go there. Think about it, guys. Why would the government not let you go somewhere on our planet? What are the reasons? They won't let you go to Area 51 because you know why. Why? Because there's things there they don't want you to see because you don't have clearance maybe. Maybe it's just you don't have clearance, okay? Maybe there's nothing there. But the fact is there are parts of this world you're not allowed to go. That you can't go for some reason. Now, if you can't go somewhere and there's nothing there, maybe there's something there. I mean, come on, think about it, guys. So yeah, there's a hole in the world. I don't know how deep it goes. I don't know if that's where the reptilians are at, but I really would like to believe that they didn't nuke the reptilians. I think the reptilians are still alive, and I think that that's the reason that some people have sightings, some people have stories, and that it's becoming more and more of a theory and more acceptable to even talk about reptilians. I couldn't say the term reptilians 6 years ago, but now all of a sudden it's like, yo, reptilians. Yeah, I heard of them. You know why? I'll tell you why. That's what this whole broadcast is about, is telling you guys what I've found in my research. And also immortalizing it, so maybe other people, well, it's not immortal. I mean, if YouTube goes out of business, then this video will go somewhere, but hopefully I can download it and put it up somewhere else. But just hopefully giving roots to some other theories that will push us forward in the right direction, you know? And if I don't say anything, then what's the point? What's the point in even having a theory? There's videos of YouTube of people trying to get Area 51 and they fail. Exactly. If you're independently wealthy, go to the hole and try it. Yeah, there you go. Go to the hole in the North Pole. Please live stream it and show me, and I will enjoy. I won't enjoy watching you get arrested, but I will enjoy you proving everything that I'm saying, because and you don't even have to do it. Just trust me or look it up, okay? But I would love for somebody I know to do it so that I can be like, yo, I know that guy. See that guy with the handcuffs? That guy? Yeah. I know him. I don't know when I'm gonna see him again, but I know him. Not allowed in vaults and banks either. What are they hiding in there? What are they hiding in there? I don't know, man. Some stuff they don't want you to have. So back to what I was talking about. I just wanted to touch on the reptilian subject. I do have a whole nother video planned on the reptilians, but I wanted to let you guys know right here because I've seen questions about it in the chat. So back to what I was saying. Now, if we're here, there are things that we still can't explain that humans have made. That we can't. Here, let me get this off the screen so I can show you guys this. This is a dramatic, and I'm talking about dramatic, enactment of building the pyramids. I just thought it looks really cool. From what I'm hearing, the pyramids were actually built from the top down. And God, there's so much of this that I could tell you guys about. I'll touch on one more thing, but I don't have any pictures of it. There are these circles. There are these circles that they found in very, very South Africa. And these are ancient circles. I'm talking about way back before we were even supposed to be building anything. But there are circles that are built, and they're interconnected in certain ways. They call them cattle trails, but they're not. They're not cattle trails because, first and foremost, they're gigantic round structures, and they're connected by trails, but they're actual like chambers that are built thousands of years ago. I'm talking about like the thousands of years ago that when people talk about that age, we're not supposed to have been able to fathom doing anything. Like back in the dumb ages of humans, you know, those ages they talk about where humans are just supposed to be like caveman, you know, those ages back there and even before. They're finding these geometric circles that are in the ground, that are interconnected. And what I think, because I've seen things that look like these circles before. I believe it's a harmonic resonance chamber that is thousands of years old, so most of it is broken. But I believe it's a harmonic resonance chamber, and it allows sound to actually do physical things to the environment beyond like rattle your eardrums. Like, it allows sound to lift heavy objects or to extract objects from other places on the planet if it's triangulated correctly, if it's put in the right spot. So there's all kinds of technology. My point of even telling you this is there's all kinds of technology all over this world. There's all kinds of things that we cannot explain how we did it. Today, we don't know how we did it. And we're the people who are like, yo, in a couple of years, we'll be on Mars, man. We're going to have a colony. We're going to colonize Mars. Like, we're that smart, right? But we still don't know how these ancient fools made this circle on the ground. We still don't know how these ancient fools, and I'm calling them fools because that's how they're portrayed. They're portrayed as fools. They're portrayed as idiots. They're portrayed as like the lowest dirt. Like, the way they talk about our ancient civilizations is like they're talking about some person who just does not get it. Just some idiot. And that, I think, is the first problem with understanding how something's done. If you're like, yo, how'd you do that, man? How'd you do that? You can't do that. And if you just treat it that way, then you've already missed half of the ability to understand it. If there's somebody who does something incredible in life, like you see somebody and they go down a hill, they jump off, they do a triple backflip and land it perfectly on their motorcycle, and you're like, wow, how'd you do that? And then the very next thing you say is, man, you're too stupid to do that. How the heck would you do that? Because you're stupid. You're automatically like losing everything to learning how it was done. You cannot immediately assume that somebody is incapable of something or it's impossible, because the second you do that, you lose everything. You lose, not everything, you lose half or more of the ability to even listen to the explanation. So we need to stop talking about our ancient civilizations like, man, these fools, they had these like hammers and stuff, man. They had these rock hammers and they just hit stuff real hard and then that was their tool. Like, no, stop treating ancient civilizations like they're stupid when you can't even figure out how they did it. Scientists, and also I think one of the main reasons that scientists do that is because if you talk to any scientists out there who have like a separate theory, something that's a little bit fringe, they're scared. They're scared out of their minds to lose their credentials. They're scared out of their mind to not be looked at as a viable person who can have an opinion. They're scared out of their minds. Scientists are scared out of their mind, man. At least not all of them, but the ones who have fringe ideas, they're so scared to talk about them. And they've built that. They've built that that circle where you can talk about certain things, but the second you step out of this circle, man, we'll never trust you again. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your name. Nobody's ever going to talk to you again. We're going to discredit you. You're going to be that hack that we talk about. You're going to be that crazy fool that grows a beard and lives in the woods up in this cabin and just stares at the sky all night. They just talk trash, man. If you talk to any legitimate scientist who has any sort of fringe idea or theory on something, they're scared to death to talk about it because they've built this, like, scientists have built this circle where you just can't say certain things, man, and that sucks. And that's also the reason why every time we come up to talk about ancient civilization, they always got to be the dumbest thing ever, and we got to sit here like, how'd they make this? How could they ever do this, man? They got perfectly cut rocks. How's it perfect? It can't be perfect. They were dumb. They weren't dumb. They had help. Maybe they had help. Could it be that they had help, maybe? If they were supposed to be so dumb, like, connect the dots. If they were dumb, how'd they do it? Maybe they had help. If somebody who is legitimately not able to do something, let's say I'm sitting in class and we're studying 5th year Japanese, and I aced the test and I just joined the class yesterday, people are going to start asking questions and be like, yo, how did Gritty pass 5th year Japanese? He just joined the class. That fool don't know no Japanese. Unless, I don't know. What you're going to do is you're going to start researching my past. You're going to say, oh, has he lived in Japan? Has he lived with Japanese people? No. Okay, what else? what books did he check out from the library? Does he have, I don't know, Dragon Tongue or whatever the newest software is that helps you to learn stuff fast? No, he didn't buy that either. Oh, Rosetta Stone? No. All right, you're going to do researching to find out, okay, well, somebody in the class, maybe somebody in the class helped him. Maybe somebody slipped him some notes. Maybe he cheated on the test. Maybe he got help. You're not going to immediately be like, he's dumb, so it's impossible. Let's just move on. No, it's not impossible. I aced the test. How did I ace the test? I aced the test because I got help somewhere down the line. If I'm supposed to be dumb at it, how did I pass it? How did I ace the test? How am I making things like this that can't be explained today? How am I making pyramids if I only had little chisels? Maybe I had help. So, the reason I'm saying this at all is because I believe the Anunnaki continuously check in on us. And maybe even the Greys, the aliens that we were talking about previously, maybe even the Greys are here just to check in and see how far we've come along, to feed us a little bit of technology here and there, to feed us ideas, to mess with our sleep patterns, to beam some of those control beams into our heads so that they don't have to continuously touch us and see us and do things like this just to get us to push forward society in the way that they want us to go. Because I don't think that the Anunnaki wanted us to be here just to dig gold out of the ground. I think there's a reason. I think they wanted us to terraform this world and turn it into something livable for them. And that's where this is going. Trust me, we're going to talk about that as well. But I think that there's a ongoing work that human beings are doing here that is not just digging gold out of the ground and putting it in Fort Knox and stuff. I think there's an ongoing goal, and most likely it's something like terraforming, experimentation into interactions between different races to see if they could possibly push forward a new galactic syndicate or something. So this is like a testing ground for a lot of different ideas, and so the Greys come here, the aliens with the big gray head and the black eyes. They're like their worker bees. They're like their little the guys who don't get to wear the wings around and stuff in these things. Like they don't get to look all cool like that. They don't get to wear these wings around in this golden armor, but they're like, yo, you go, you report back to us and tell us where they're at. You know, make sure they're cool. Make sure they're not gonna nuke each other. Make sure they're keeping everything under wraps. One of the things that was talked about earlier in this broadcast was that somebody said something that I really, really liked. So let me bring it up. Boom, right there. Somebody said, "Yo, so Prometheus was right?" Yeah, Prometheus was right. Basically, Prometheus was right. If you've never seen the movie, please see the movie, man. I know it's not great. Most of the stuff you're going to watch on a subject is not going to be that great. It's not going to be like, oh man, that was the most compelling documentary into human beings I've ever seen. Like, it's going to be all right. It's not going to be incredible. And this is not, I'm not saying it's a documentary. What I'm saying is the ideas at the heart of this movie. I believe wholeheartedly that this is a movie about the Anunnaki. It's a movie about the Anunnaki. All right. It started all the way back with the first Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver out in outer space, and that's the Xenomorphs. Xenomorphs are included. I'm not calling Aliens a documentary. What I'm saying is the ideas at the heart of it, I believe, are like a tinge of a documentary of what actually happened here. If you don't know, this guy on the left and this guy on the right are part of the same race. They call them engineers in this movie, Prometheus, but I'm calling them Anunnaki because they do the same thing. At the very beginning of the movie, you see a desolate, not a desolate, you see a planet that is just beautiful, but it's vast and there's nothing there. This dude hops off of a ship. There's a outtake scene where all of his friends are there too, where they're wearing robes and it's like a ceremony where they seed a planet, where they introduce their DNA into the planet, and years and years and years later, their DNA is encoded into like everything on the planet. And then they find out that their roots lie elsewhere. Human beings find out our roots lie elsewhere, and so we go on a trek to find out what's up with these fools. And Battlestar Galactica, did they talk about that in there too? Maybe they did. So, as you can see, Hollywood is already dipping into these things. Hollywood is already dipping in, and that's one of the main things that I think actually backs up this theory as well, is because if this theory, this is not even a theory. Like, my part of it, I'll call a theory, but the part of it where there are Anunnaki and all this stuff is as provable and as well, not as provable. It might be a little less provable than some other things, but it is as relevant as any other ancient writings that you can find, because the story involved is the exact same story you heard about in Sunday school. It's just the level of exact is changed to tune in to a different understanding of the words involved. It's still the same story. It's still some other being came here to create us in their image to do their work. That's the exact same story in the Bible. Don't tell me it's not. It's the exact same story. So here you are with that. I got this picture for you, and it also makes me think of superhero movies. Odin, Asgard, the ancient Norse text, the Prozetta, things like that. Prozetta is a ancient book that tells about basically just legends of things like this, like Thor, Odin, how they're not unlike us. They're just better. They're just better in pretty much every way. So they look at us like, yo, those are the mortals, you know. That's fine. We just kind of protect over them. We watch over them. We make sure things don't get crazy or whatever. So there you go. Concepts behind the film are close because it's what Ridley Scott truly believes in. Exactly. And I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong. And neither does anybody else who actually reads. I'm not saying reads books. I'm not saying if you don't read. I'm saying anybody who reads the Bible, you have to see that it's based on other stories. It's not its own book, and that's part of the reason why I believe in the Bible, and I believe in all these other texts, is because I can see they're all parts of the same picture. All parts of the same picture. It's like if you have one piece of a puzzle, you're like, nah, man, this is the puzzle piece, and it's like, nah, it's cool, and if you live by that, it's great, but you have to understand, like, there are edges there. There are other shapes that fit into it and can show you, hey, whoa, they got that from that. There are thousands of years old. There are stories thousands of years older than the Bible that say the same thing the Bible says. It's just, it doesn't say this guy's name. It says this guy's name. And that's the only difference, and that's the difference between a person going to this church and going to this synagogue. Same stories over and over and over again. So I think that there is something in our DNA. This is where I'm going back to the DNA memory. And like I said, this is not about religion. This is about DNA memory. It's about the ability for the human race to continuously tell the same story over and over and over and over again, and people not to see there's a reason for the pattern. It's a pattern for a reason. There's not a reason that people have faith besides they have faith. Well, what is faith? Faith is your ability to believe in something above all regard for anything else, because it just makes sense to you in your heart, and that's what you say, in my heart, because that's something that it's tangible. It's something that, when my heart beats, and when I get filled up with an emotion, I can feel it in my heart. When I get filled with fear, I can feel it in my heart. You know, that's something people say, but it's real. It's real. I believe that our DNA holds memory of these events. Our DNA holds these memories so much, and it's encoded into us to hold these memories as well, so that when the Anunnaki decide that we're ready, or when they decide that they're ready for whatever, that it'll make sense to us, because we've been telling this story for thousands of years. We've just been telling it with different names involved, different titles of the book. It's the same story to everybody. There's always a creator. He always comes down here. He, she, they always come down here. They make us in their image so that we look like them. And why do they do it? So that we can do the good work. We're here to do the good work, and if we act well, there's a reward at the end of the tunnel. That's every religion out there. Except there are some of them that don't believe in that. They believe in just at the bare minimum just treating other people with kindness, which is kind of like a I believe in that. I really do. But I also believe that it's a part of what a human being is here for, if there was a purpose. If there was a purpose, I think that being nice to other people and treating other people the way that they should be treated, or the way that you would like to be treated, is the cornerstone of keeping the race going. So I have nothing against people who believe any of this, but not that either. But it's just I don't touch on that as much because it doesn't involve creation and the things I'm trying to get at with this theory. So don't take me as a person who's discounting any religion. Literally, that's why I don't try to make this about religion. I'm just telling you, religions are the same story I'm telling you. It's just not as, in a lot of cases, it's not as literal. It's not as like, they put us here to do this, and they're going to be here again. It's not. I try to make it that literal instead of putting it into like a 1,000-page book, you know? Hear that weird guy? Okay, so on to the home stretch, guys. We're almost there. I need to explain these things before we get to the home stretch. So this is where the Mandela Effect comes in. The Mandela Effect, I believe, is a side effect of the signal, of their ability to control us at a very basic level. The Anunnaki, I believe, had a way to control us, and it worked until they made that second model. In this story, I'll replay a little bit of it so that you guys can hear it again. I'm not going to replay the whole thing, but I'll replay. I'll replay like from here and then just a little bit more.
Sections of the god's DNA were rendered inactive and locked before they were inserted into the genetic base material to keep humans productive, obedient, controllable, and God-fearing. Both reproduction and lifespan were kept in check to keep the human slaves at manageable numbers, using a system of replacing new for old when the humans became too old and sick to be productive. The humans were content and ignorant slaves. But Enki and Nenki grew fond of their creations and were disgusted at how their creations, their children, were being treated. So they devised a plan to create a new worker model in secret. They would not make this model strong and robust, but smarter, so that it hated being told what to do. It asked lots of questions about everything, including questions about the conditions and origins. This infuriated Anu and Enlil. Eventually, Enki's faction, the Brotherhood of...
So that's where I'm going to stop, because this is all based on these tablets I'm telling you about, okay? All this is based on these tablets. This is not some person who's just sitting here with flash animation and like, yo, I'll make a cool story. This is based on those thousands upon thousands of year-old texts. This is one of the first religions of all history. This is one of the religions, and as you can tell, it has echoes. It has echoes of every other religion in it, and I think that there's a reason for that. I think there's a reason for that. There's a reason that everything that came out after Blade Runner, that's a sci-fi movie, tried to take some stuff from Blade Runners, because it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Hey, man, that actually sounds pretty dang cool. I like that, and people are going to hop on the comments and be like, yo, Blade Runner wasn't the original. There was this other thing. I understand there was some other thing, but that's my point. I understand. There were other things, I understand. But I'm just trying to make a legitimate point about this, is that if there's the same story being told over and over and over again, and there's the same elements, they're just being twisted to have like a different person's name on it, or now instead of two people, it's one person. You have to start to think, maybe it's because humankind has this story programmed in them. Like, it makes sense to you because it's part of you, because they use their own DNA. The DNA has memory to it. So they created a second version of human beings. There was a first version, and as you heard, it was just basically here to do a job, and they can control it. They can control it. It didn't look up at the sky and wonder. It didn't have thoughts about the working conditions or anything. But these two, they cared so much about it because they just saw them being basically wasted. It's like watching your own children just be out there and just doing work in a field, and they never aspire to anything, and they get mistreated. So these two people, or these two Anunnaki who created it, created human beings in the first place, went on and created their own secretive version 2. And the version 2.0 human had the ability to think, had the ability to look up at the sky and wonder, had the ability to question things. And that's where these other ones, the main dude over here, they decided, man, you two suck, man. Why'd you do this to us? So that's it. They cut them off and they left. And I think that there's still part of version 1 in us. I think version 2 is not a completely different model. It's not like a Ferrari versus a Lamborghini. I don't think it's like that. I think that it was a Ferrari and then there was another Ferrari, or a Lamborghini and then there's like the new Lamborghini. I think it still has a lot of the same working parts. I think it still has some of the same weaknesses that could be exploited by the Anunnaki if they wanted to. So, as I said like 20 minutes ago, this is where we get to the Mandela Effect, okay? I believe that, and based on the way society is going, even based on research from 8 years ago, I believe that mankind is mentally degrading at an alarming rate. I don't mean that there aren't smart people out there. I'm not saying that you guys aren't smart. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is that even within the past 8 years, and the reason I'm using the 8-year mark is because this is when it seems to have first really started hitting home. But I'm not even going to go into what the 8 years is about, because I'll get into that in some other video. Just in recent history, I've seen a genuine degrading of humankind's ability to care about each other, its ability to remain civil in situations, the ability to see other people's thought patterns, just a whole altogether degrading of our ability to be mankind together. I don't believe that we are as much mankind anymore as just several smaller sects of just people who agree. And I think that is a definite and tangible side effect of what is happening. And what I believe is happening, guys, this is where I'm gonna lay it all on the table. I believe that the Anunnaki live on a created planet. It is a gigantic world that they have created over millions of years. They have created it's not a satellite. It's an actual world that they have created, or that they have inhabited at such a rate and with such technology that this is literally their planet. Like, they own this thing, like, completely. We're just here. Like, things can happen that just wipe us out on this planet. I think that they have honed this planet, and I think that this planet is on an orbit that comes around. It comes around every couple thousand years. People say that it comes around quicker, but I think it's every couple thousand years, because they're checking in. But I think that this planet comes around every couple thousand years, and that signal that they use to control human beings, the signal that they were originally using to make us work, to make us do things like the pyramids, like the circles I was talking about in the ground for the harmonic resonance, all kinds of stuff like that. I believe that signal is getting stronger and stronger as they come closer and closer. You look anywhere right now, and I believe that planet is called Nibiru. I believe it's called Planet X. Yes, that planet that you hear about that they just now discovered out there somewhere, but they don't know where it's at now. Yeah, they know where it's at now. They just can't tell the public because the public's going to freak out. So they messed up by announcing it, and now they're in cover-up mode. So now it's, I don't know why we said that, because there is no Planet X. I don't know. Sorry, guys, that was a false alarm, or it's just, yeah, we don't know where it's at. Please. So anyway, I believe that every couple thousand years it comes around, and if you look even in the Bible, it tells you things about the days. It tells you things about the end of days, the Revelation, the book of Revelation. Like I said, I'm not going to touch on religion, but just read it, okay? I believe that they're coming closer, and once they come back, it's going to be game time. The Sumerian texts, I'm going to tell you what they say in the translation. They say that they're going to come back, and they're basically going to be in harvest mode, like it's over. Like next time they come back, we're done. Like we've completed whatever we needed to complete. So I believe that signal is always beeping. It's always out there. That signal is just, it's out there, and there's a time where they're furthest away from us, and that's where our society can really gel together and meld and be as one, and really create good things and respect each other. And as they get closer, that's where society starts falling apart. That's where we start and I know times have been harder than they've been. I understand that. There have been countries out there. We have a time of peace right now. Don't get me wrong. There's peace. What I'm talking about is people's inability to connect to another person, and just an overall, just almost sadistic love for seeing other people in pain, for seeing other people having problems in their life. Hey man, at least that ain't me. I'm glad that ain't me, because I'm good. I'm good over here, man. I'm feeling good. It's like there's this want, and I'm not saying it's just me, because I enjoy seeing people in pain. I do. I watch boxing. I watch wrestling. I like it. I like seeing people, and I think that it's becoming more and more, man. You see more and more violent movies. Now violence is just like, whatever, it's fine. SpongeBob can punch somebody in the face and they can be knocked out all episode. That's cool. People enjoy it now. It's just, it's becoming more and more and more and more. And also, the rise of the zombies. This is also part of the Mandela Effect. Trust me, we're getting to why the Mandela Effect is. I just got to touch on a few things during it. The rise of zombies. Zombies it derived from basically just a person with no soul, a person who is just a husk of a person. It's not something that just came along because somebody made a movie about it. Okay, it's something that was a belief, but it was not a long-standing belief. It's something that came around fairly recently in society, the zombie. And now it's everywhere. There's an obsession with zombies. And I think that the obsession with zombies is because of the DNA memory. I think it's because at our core, we know we are supposed to be that we are supposed to be zombies. We're supposed to be this mindless husk that is out there to just go and get what we're supposed to get, go and do what we're supposed to do. So I think the obsession that society has with zombies right now is because that signal is getting stronger and stronger as they're coming closer and closer. That planet is coming closer to Earth. That orbit is starting to curve, and we're going to start seeing it in the sky. When the Planet X or Nibiru, the place where these dudes live at, when they come back to claim what's theirs, that they are beaming this signal, and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And what it's doing to people, and this is exactly where the Mandela Effect comes into play in this theory. I'm not saying that any of this is true. This is my theory, one of my theories, that signal is making us forget things. It's making us forget where we came from. It's making us forget what we've learned as a society, because the more that we band together, the worse it's going to be for them if they come back and try to flex on us. And I'm not saying they're even militant. I'm not saying they're even going to do anything bad to us. I'm just saying that if I was the Anunnaki and I knew that these fools are going to freak out, they're going to freak out when I come back. When they see my ship in the sky and I come down and I try to talk to them, they're going to try to nuke my face. How can I make them not nuke my face? Well, let's keep that signal on. That signal we used to use to control them, to build all our stuff and do all this work for us back when they were version 1. Let's turn that on. And some people are more affected than the others, and that's what has to do with genetics. That's what has to do with were you mixed with version 1 of human? Were you all version 2? Were you some version 2 and your great million great aunt was a version 1, and it just kind of trickled down, and there's just one part of you that has that. And so the signal is affecting different people in different ways. Some people are seeing changes and like, yo, that's not how I remember it. That is not how I remember it. And other people are like, that it's always been that way. It's always been that way. And I'm not saying which one is which. I'm not saying one's version 1 and one's version 2. I'm not saying any of them are version 1 at all. I'm just saying that there are different people being affected different ways based on the thousands of years that the versions have mixed and things of this nature to create what you are today. And I'm not talking about going to Ancestry.com and be like, yeah, my great uncle Jethro, that dude, he had to be a version 1 because he wasn't too smart. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about through thousands and thousands of years, there's probably only a bit of one or the other in you. A lot of it has probably seeped away, but there's still these pathways in your mind and these pathways in your DNA that remind you, that resonate with this signal. So this signal is getting stronger. As they're coming closer, they're making you forget things. They're making you forget what we've learned as a society. They're making you forget why we band together, why we stand out, why we do these things to help other societies and things. Because when they come down here, they want us in disarray. They want us all talking about, oh, well, I can't hang out with this dude because he's a feminist. I can't hang out with this person because she likes to work out, or she's a vegan. Who cares? Who cares? When stuff hits the fan, nobody's going to care about vegan or feminists. Oh, well, they're gonna all of a sudden not care, but they've already built up so many barriers between each other that it's game over for us. If they come back with an agenda that is lights out for us, then we'll be so split up over, oh, these people didn't sell us oil, or they put an embargo against us in 1965, and we never traded with them again, There's going to be so many barriers between us because as this signal gets stronger and stronger, and all you see is just this zombie-like thing in front of you and what needs to be done, it's game over for us. And so the Mandela Effect in this theory is that ancient signal that they used, is their ancient ability to control human beings and get them to do their will. And so they're slowly making us forget as they get closer. And the reason that I think it got jump-started, the reason I think people started talking about it more and more, you didn't hear about the Mandela Effect so much years ago. You hear about it so much now. And it's not because of social media, because social media was around. It's not because of social media. I think it's because what CERN did, and it always touches CERN, but I believe that CERN has something to do with this. CERN has come out and said that literally their mission statement. CERN is that it's the place where they made that gigantic atomic accelerator thing that's 20 miles around, and they shoot things at the speed of light and crash particles into each other and study what they've done, study what they can do with that. They have told us their mission statement is to open a doorway from one plane to the next. So open two places that are not connected and make them connected. And what I think they did is they opened up a doorway directly to Nibiru, which is, I think, what they were trying to do in the first place. But I think they succeeded. And I think when they opened up this doorway, that signal was like, boom! Super loud, but super small and contained. It wasn't like a long, drawn-out signal that could scramble your brain. But I think it was like a pulse that hit every person on this planet. But it awakened some of that. It awakened some of that ability to either question it or not. To be part of the workers who are going to stand with the Anunnaki and people who are going to question it and be like, yo, but like I said, it doesn't mean that you're version 1 or version 2. I just think that it affects different people different ways. You might be a person who has an overabundance of the DNA from version 2, but it still affects you in a different way because of your mental pathways or whatever. So, in closing, because this is ran pretty much as long as I thought it would, but I believe, as a summary, we were put here, in this theory, we were put here to do some sort of work for the Anunnaki. They're coming back. These two helped us out by freeing our minds a bit, by allowing us to question it. but giving us a fighting chance. Because if it would have just been version 1, volume 1 of human beings, I believe that as soon as the Anunnaki come here, they just flip the switch and we're all like, serve the Anunnaki, serve the Anunnaki. Or they could just wipe us out or whatever. We can't even hit a button to nuke them because we're going to be like, serve the Anunnaki. I believe, like I said, I believe that's the reason that people are so into zombie movies. People are so into zombies, and the rise of that is because that signal is getting stronger and stronger, and there's something in our DNA that resonates with that tells you, dude, zombies suck. Because you can see yourself being one, man. A zombie is just a mindless husk that does one thing. And that's what we could turn into if we don't start questioning things. And I think that CERN actually bought us time. I don't think that in this theory, I think CERN is like a superhero. I think that CERN gave us a concentrated pulse of the signal so that we could wake up and see it. And see the fact that there's something going on with society. There are people who can't even agree on what color this was anymore. People who can't agree on what this movie said before. And some of it can be chalked up to just bad memory or just people saying the same wrong thing over and over again, and then you just believe the wrong thing. I understand that. But in this concentration and at this rate that it came out all at once, like, poof, whoa, I didn't know this and this and this and this. This is just 100 different things were all of a sudden different than you remembered them the next day or the day before. I believe they're trying to make us forget who we are. I believe they're trying to make us forget what we've been through as a race, because when they come back, they don't want us to stand together. Because if we stand together, then there's going to be a problem for them. They don't want any problems, man. They want to come back here and just reap the benefits. I think CERN, in this theory, there's another theory I have where CERN is like the main bad guy, of course. But in this particular theory that I've decided to share with so many people, I hope everybody on the internet, every single person on the internet watches this just so that they can start questioning stuff, just so we can start having some roots for people to grow their own tree of thought and knowledge on this. That we can understand that, hey, there's a religion that predates all the other religions that says the same thing that all these other religions are saying, that says they're coming back. It says they're coming back. And it's not a happy end to the tale. Now, of course, you'll find other religions before this. So I didn't mean it predates all the other religions. I just mean it predates the ones that everybody's always talking about, or a lot of people are always talking about. It predates the ones that you can go down your street right now and find chilling. Find on every single corner. So I think there's something to it. I think there's something to it. The fact that that so many other religions since have the same exact message. That, hey, we were created by something else. It put us here to do the work, and it's coming back. And when it comes back, there's going to be heck to pay, which is I can't tell you how many times I've heard this story. I hear this story and it's got a different name on the front of the book every time I read it, but it's the same story. We were made by something else. It put us here, do work. It's coming back. Boom. Thanks for working. It's the same story. And so in this story, it does not have a good end. The Anunnaki story, I mean, there is a part of it that's good, because there are some people who will blend in and still do the good work and put them above all and just let them roll up and take what they want. I would like to think that if enough people in this theory wake up and fortify their minds with what they know and what we've learned as a society, that we can fight back and not get harvested if they come back to harvest us. Maybe let's be nice. Maybe we don't even need to fight. But I don't have any ill will towards them, and that's what tells me, hey, this might be a true story. Should I not have ill will against a society of beings who are coming back to basically tell me that they played me my whole life and they're here to get what's theirs? Should I not have ill will? I believe I should. In this place that I live right now, if somebody is like, yo, I know you feel like this is your place, but this is my place, so you got to get out now. And all your stuff's mine. If somebody rolled up in here saying that right now, I would have ill will towards them. I would want to fight for what's mine. But it's like in my heart, I'm like, oh, Anunnaki, cool. They come back. Hopefully they're nice. You know, I'm not feeling like we got to blow them up. You know, I'm not feeling that rage in my heart for them. And that's what lets me know that maybe this story is true, because in this story, we are Anunnaki. We are them. We're just them mixed with something else. So basically that's my theory, guys. Basically that's my theory. Hopefully I presented it in a way that's understandable. If you guys have any other questions on this, please leave a comment. Please message me about it, because I would love to build this up into something else. There's so much more to it, but I think that that's the basis of my theory. I know it took like an hour and a half to explain, but there's a reason it takes so long to explain, because you gotta build it up. You gotta let people know why you're saying this and why you're saying this. So I hope it makes sense. I hope that I've done a pretty good job. I don't have like a template. Nobody else has said this before, from what I know. People have talked about the Anunnaki, and people have talked about the Mandela Effect, but I'm putting the two together because I genuinely feel that they are connected. I feel like the reason that we're losing some of our heritage and some of what makes us us is because they want that to happen. They want us to tune back into being the little slaves. And I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to be able to resist that signal once it's strong enough, because that pulse, man, that pulse set people apart. It's got people talking about all kinds of craziness on the internet. People flaming chat rooms off over the stupidest stuff. I understand people really care about certain things. Like, nah, Laura Croft, she never had brown boots. It was always black, whatever. People are flaming entire chat rooms about Laura Croft's boot color. People are flaming entire chat rooms about, oh my God, I can't believe you said that about a movie that's coming out. You don't like it because there's women. What? Come on. Come on, guys. There are some real things that we need to at least be looking into right now. Who cares? Let them make whatever movie they want. Let them do whatever they want. And as long as it doesn't touch you and doesn't mess things up for you. I mean, I understand having an agenda, but goodness gracious, man. We're so divided, and we're divided on the most ridiculous things. Stuff hits the fan, you're not going to be sitting in the wilderness talking about, I'm a vegetarian. No. It's, hey man, I caught this rabbit. You going to eat it, or are you going to die? Like, what are you going to do? Don't tell me about that. Or otherwise, people are like, yo, I can't live without steak, so forget being a vegetarian. What if? What if you're in Mother Nature now, and you're out there in the environment, in the forest, and there are no steaks, there are no rabbits, there is nothing to eat except for your fellow human being and a couple of vegetables and berries that you found. Are you now just going to sit there and die because you can't have steak, you can't have meat? No, you're gonna eat those berries, man. You're gonna carry on. So it's like, just stop, man. Who cares what you eat, man? We need to be banding together as human beings, helping each other out when we can. That's why I run half the stuff I run, is just to give people a good day, because I understand it's about that, man. It's about us treating each other right. So that's a good way to close it, actually. Just treat each other right. That's that other thing I'm talking about, and that's why I don't knock people who that's what they believe in, is because I think that's at the root of this. It's just, if we can band together and just be it doesn't mean agree with everybody on what they say. It just means that understand the weight of what people are saying. It's like, is it that important, really? Come on, man. There might be this alien race that's coming down here to like harvest your organs, and you're worried about what this guy eats. Like, let him eat his tofu, man. Let him eat his tofu. So thank you guys very much for tuning into this. I do have a special broadcast that I'm going to be running after this on Twitch. It's a fighting game that I found I haven't got to play it yet, but I know that it works. I got to start it up and make sure that it works. I can only play it with a keyboard for some reason. They did not include any sort of joystick. You can't use a PlayStation controller on it. You can't use an Xbox controller on it, so I have to play it with the keyboard. So I'm not promising like the best gameplay, but when you guys see this fighting game, I'm pretty sure you're going to be like, all right, that's pretty dang cool right there. But thank you guys so much, seriously. Thank you guys for humoring me. I know it sounds crazy. Some of it sounds crazy. Some of it sounds out there. But at least I hope there's at least a nugget of something that you can hang on to and be like, yeah, that was pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool, and it does make me think. Because, what is a theory if it doesn't make people think? And if it doesn't have a nugget of truth, then it's nothing. It's just the ramblings of a madman. So I tried not to get too tinfoil hat on you guys. I tried to keep it as close to things that can be relatable, but when you're talking about like alien races and creation and all that stuff, it's hard to stay on home base here, you know. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for the people who are watching this after the fact on YouTube as well. I hope that you've already left a thumbs up on this. By the way, you guys could have been thumbs upping this all broadcast. I didn't want to keep saying that throughout the broadcast. So if you could leave a thumbs up on this, it would be great. That definitely helps. And also leave a comment after the fact when I post this archive to my YouTube channel. I think a lot of people will benefit from this because there's definitely a divide between these two things, and I feel like I've broken down a wall between the Anunnaki and the Mandela Effect here. I believe the Mandela Effect is literally them trying to take back control and trying to shut us down a little bit when it comes to our ability to free think and check back in to who we've become as a species together. So there you guys go. Gosh, I can't say thank you enough, guys. But I will see you on Twitch. Please stay subscribed to me if I don't make another one of these videos for a little while. It's because I'm researching stuff, man. It takes a little while. It takes a little while. Let me put together my research, and you can actually help me with my research as well by putting your stories and your ideas in this comment section, and I'll see what resonates with me and see if I can put together some other stuff for us to ponder. But I'll see the rest of you guys on Twitch, all right? You guys follow my Twitch channel. All that information is in the description of this video. How to get to my Twitch, how to get to my Twitter, where you can find my book that I wrote, all that stuff. Check out the description of this video and all the props that I'm giving to the people who've been supporting my channel for the last months and months. I really appreciate it. All the members of the Patreon and just the people who watch as well, not even the people who monetarily support. Just thank you guys so much. I'll see you in just a bit. Thumbs up. I guess thumbs up. Maybe that's an ancient Anunnaki thing too. Maybe they used to do this to each other. Maybe that's how they said hello. I don't know. Feels like it. I'll see you guys later.